Hello and welcome back to Strictly Between Us, RadioTimes.com's Strictly Come Dancing companion series. We'll be now chatting about the tops and bottoms for week 3, movie week. I'm Lauren Morris, entertainment and factual writer for RadioTimes.com.
And I'm Minnie Wright, news editor for RadioTimes.com.
So, tops and bottoms, Minnie, who do we think is going to hit that top spot on the leaderboard?
I think Will Mellor is a shoo-in for top or second on the leaderboard. It might be a joint top situation. He's doing American Smooth, Dirty Dancing. We already know he can move. We know he has that kind of grace and elegance for the frame, and we also know that he's kind of can bring a little bit of the like acting and the kind of romantic vibe to it. And I think it's going to be a real crowd pleaser as well as delighting people like Shirley Ballas on the panel with his technical ability. So it's, you know, I know he's talked about last week the fear that when you're that high up on the leaderboard, the only way is down, but actually I really think the only way is up for Will Mellor at the moment.
And he's already had a dip with last week.
Yeah.
The judges weren't as enamoured with last week's performance as they were the first week. Now I feel like he'll use that as a jumping off point to go back up to the leaderboard.
Yeah, and it wasn't even, you know, his dip didn't even go
I thought it was a good dance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. His American Smooth is going to be sexy. It's going to be fun. And Shirley Ballas will absolutely love it.
And we have to have Dirty Dancing in Strictly Come Dancing movie week. It's basically a contractual obligation at this point.
I know it's not this song, but do you think, because the song is Cry to Me, but do you think he'll attempt the lift?
I think that might be setting your expectations too high. Maybe they'll save that for like the show dance if he gets through to the final, you know? They've got to have something in the bag.
He's strong. I feel like he could lift.
Yeah.
But next up, we're also really excited for Ellie, aren't we, Minnie?
Absolutely. I think Ellie already showed us that she has a really wonderful kind of poise and lightness on her feet. She's now going to be doing a quick step. I think the song, which is from the artist, is going to lend a really kind of beautiful quality to that. She's got a lot of fitness as well, obviously, as an athlete. I think she's going to absolutely smash this, and I think she's really proving herself as a fan favourite in terms of personality as well. She's just shining on screen, and I love the partnership with Nikita as well. It's so great.
And he's so creative in the way he's approaching dances. I think it's great. Everyone, I think, was very curious to see how they're going to approach the waltz last week. But they were more in hold than some of the other couples were in their dances. So I think their quick step this week is going to be great. I'm interested to see how light on her feet she is, because she hasn't yet done a jive or another dance where you have to have that bounce. And the quick step is quick. So I'm sure she will pull it out the park. And
I feel like another name that we should probably throw out there for kind of tops of the leaderboard contenders, Molly.
Yes. Definitely, Molly Rainford. You could already tell she was going to do well because she is sort of a performer. But last week I just thought her dance was so good. I really enjoyed it.
And the costumes.
Amazing. And now they're doing a waltz. It's a gear change. But I think if anyone can do it, she can.
Yeah.
And keep that top spot. Also, I love Carlos. I'm really enjoying getting to know him.
I was going to say, like, sort of definitely a contender for the favourite new pro of the series. Carlos is winning us all over in the office, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. It really reminds me of when, like, OT first joined.
That energy.
And people were like, oh, who's she? And she ended up, well, I can't remember which partner it was, but they did really well. They got up really, really far in the competition. And he's reminding me of her, so maybe watch out.
Yeah, definitely one to watch. And on the flip side, who do we think might struggle towards the lower end of the leaderboard, and obviously also contenders for the dance-off?
Well, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised to hear that I think Tony is going to go right to the bottom of the leaderboard with his Samba, to use sexy thing.
The full Monty, Tony Adams, movie week, Samba? It's when you add that last word in that it just sounds like it's going to be a difficult one to overcome.
It's like they pulled 3 names out of separate hats and been like, okay, cool.
This is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Good luck.
To the full Monty. Whether he's going to strip off, how much stripping off can you do on BBC One before?
I think we've seen a fair amount of flesh on Strictly before,
That's
so
true.
I think, you know, sky's the limit on that at the moment. But I also feel like he really brings the fun, and if he can kind of like, you know, shed any kind of worry or like embarrassment about it. It could be one of the most entertaining numbers of the night. Whereas I have a fear that James Bay doing a ChaCha to Hooked on a Feeling from Guardians of the Galaxy might be sort of, I don't think he's made for the ChaCha, and I don't think that's going to have the winning entertainment factor and personality. I think that's one of those ones that gets lost in the crowd and ultimately isn't technically proficient enough or kind of performance-y enough to make it stand out and people to actually pick up the phone and vote. So I think James Bay is probably a dark horse to end up falling by the wayside and being a potential for the dance-off.
Definitely. And I think he could end up in the dance-off with Matt Goss, who was obviously in the dance-off last week. Tony Adams, I don't think he's going to do very well, but people love him and people will vote for him. And I think he will stay in the competition a bit longer. I think it could be Matt Goss going with his Viennese Waltz to a song from Top Gun Maverick.
I mean, Matt Goss, we know that his struggle was the frame in week 1, the ballroom frame. It's back to that. The likelihood that he's improved that dramatically enough to be able to smash this dance is pretty slim, I think. And we already saw that he's not a favourite enough in terms of winning over the public to make up for his lack of technical ability. He was in the dance-off against Kay last week. He managed to win that. I don't think it was all that big a challenge against Kay to win that. So I think you're right. I would have him as the kind of dead cert for the dance-off this week, unfortunately.
And that's it for us for Tops and Bottoms of this week. Get in touch. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? We'd like to know. Otherwise, stay tuned for the rest of our Strictly Between Us videos for week 3. Bye.